In addition to the shake roll, we have the thumb roll, and that's where the sandpaper comes in. It can be very helpful for having a consistent thumb roll. An experiment, you want to use the fleshy part of your thumb, the part that you would make a fingerprint with, and you want to move in the direction that you're going, and you want to have a consistent speed and pressure to keep the roll consistent. More pressure, more speed will make it louder, and it will give it a little bit of a finer grain, whereas slower and less pressure will be softer. A lot of people will use their index finger. That generally works a little better. So I'm ending with the knee and rolling with the finger. Now the finger technique is extending the middle finger, and you want to get the thumb just below that first knuckle so that it's free to vibrate. You can also end this using the back of your hand, like that. There's also possibilities of combinations of using your thumb and turning over to end a thumb roll. It's a little easier though to do it's a little cleaner that way. And you hear the difference there. You can end a thumb roll with a little bit what I call a bump. I just lift. And it gives it a little bit of a point, but not a real tap kind of a sound. All right. That's for a more gentle ending of a roll on the thumb. Another technique is to use a combination of tapping with your left hand and rolling with your right. So I can really get a nice defined end of the roll. Okay, I'm using that finger technique rather than the thumb. The thumb, a little bit too heavy and grainy, so it works this technique and a little more easy to get at the angle that way. Now when you're playing the tambourine, make sure you have a quality instrument. Black Swamp makes a great variety of instruments, different kinds of jingles. They also make different head sizes. If you have a really long roll, you can roll on a larger tambourine and have more runway. Okay, but really pay attention to the quality of sound and make sure you're getting a jingle sound and not a lot of head sound, which can be very distracting to the timbre of the tambourine. Hold it up. Make sure the conductor can see it if at all possible. And this instrument really should be treated equally with the snare drum and your mallet instruments. When you go to an audition especially, you should know all your tambourine excerpts and techniques and have them be playing them at an equal quality level as snare drum and the other instruments. The next instrument we're going to discuss today is the triangle. The triangle is very, very important. And once again, as with all percussion instruments, really thinking about the quality of sound is very, very important. There's some excellent instruments out there on the market as well as beaters. The Black Swamp triangle is a wonderful instrument. They come in different sizes. You want to get a mid-range size for general purpose playing. Beaters, I like what's called the Stetzel style beater, which has is insulated from the shaft of the beater. You're going to play with this part here, and then the rubber gives you a nice surface kind of similar to the size of a drumstick to work with there. And you can get a variety of sounds. Now, general playing is going to be in the lower right-hand side of the triangle. And I have a little bit of an angle this way. I'm not this way or directly on, but a little bit of an angle. And depending on what area of the beater you use, you can get a different sound. You can play the very tip of the beater for a very small focus sound, or you can move into the media area. And also, if you turn the beater slightly, you can get a darker sound by using more surface of the beater on the so darker, brighter. You want a triangle that has a huge variety of overtones. You don't want a triangle that sounds like a specific note, especially if you're playing next to a glockenspiel or something like that, where the sound timbre can be conflicting and too pitch-like. So a broad spectrum of sounds will blend the best with the concert band or the symphony orchestra. Now, we have a clip here, and on the clip, there's two. I use, basically, it's fishing line. It's a very, very thin plastic filament, and I have two loops. One loop to hold the triangle, and one loop for a safety on the triangle in case the first loop breaks. You don't want to experience a falling triangle at a gig. So we put the triangle in through here, the opening to the player's left if you're right-handed. Now, thumb and middle finger will support the clip, leaving the other fingers free to muffle the triangle. So you can control the duration of the sound using that muffling. Now, rolling is done in the lower right-hand corner. And oftentimes I'll lower the triangle just a little bit. For my rolling. Now, when you're playing with two beaters on the triangle stand, it's a different technique. You have to really be careful about the triangle spinning, because you're not holding it. You can't really control it from spinning. So I've found the best technique is to play in the middle here at a slightly downward angle. Then you can get your definition of your very fast passages, okay, without having to worry about the triangle spinning on you. And for rolling, get right back in that corner for a roll, and then you play your notes. Okay, you never want to roll two beaters on the triangle like a single stroke roll. That's not an appropriate sound and not something that's accepted professionally. You want to get down in the corner to get that roll. Some exercises, let me turn this a little bit so you can see this. Some exercises for this kind of for rolling in the corner is you want to go at an angle. You don't want to go straight up and down, because then you're going to be hitting at different points. So you want to go. Okay, you can even take the triangle off the stand, and when you're home watching TV or something, you can. And you can even practice rhythmic patterns like, okay, in this corner of the triangle. It'll help you to develop some control. So the triangle is very, very important. Some time and attention to detail, to having a quality instrument, quality beaters, and researching the music and thinking about the quality of sound, developing your techniques on the triangle so that you can approach the instrument with respect for the instrument and the music, and be producing once again some beautiful sounds that are going to contribute positively to the ensemble.